afternoon all, and you're very welcome to Parnell Park for Dubs TV. Here with me, Mark Sobukla, and beside me here I have Owen O'Donnell, obviously of Whitehall Cullen Kills. Owen, we were just talking about it earlier there. What an afternoon. The pitch, as it has been for the last couple of weeks, to be fair to the staff in Parnell Park, looking great. Conditions superb, no rain all morning. Bit of a slight breeze would be the only thing maybe to bring for the folks back home, but otherwise looking forward to a brilliant first game between Cuala and Lucan Sarsfields.
Absolutely, it's a great day for hurling. No great chance. Pitch looking perfect as usual, and light breeze, but nothing too drastic. Kind of going into the Kintyre golf course then. Cracking day. Hopefully we'll have two good games, and by the end of it we'll see who's in the final for Dublin.
Well, exactly. It's two semi-finals that we have for you here this afternoon on Dubs TV, but starting off with the defending champions Cuala taking on Lucan Sarsfields. Obviously reached the final in 2013 where they lost to Ballybowden, but they're still searching for that first elusive title, our Lucan Sarsfields. But they've got a smattering of quality players with plenty of inter-county experience in and amongst them, but of course coming up against the reigning champions Cuala, who have 7 titles in total in Dublin, and obviously 2 All-Ireland titles as well to boot. Your own reading of both teams, and I suppose maybe start with Lucan Sarsfields, and what has impressed you so far this year?
Over the pitch, probably the big talking point is that Con O'Callaghan is togged out, which he wasn't the last day, so whether he starts or not, I assume if he's anyway fit, Cuala will want him on the pitch, so we'll be keeping an eye on that and let you know closer to the game. But Cuala are the team that they are, and coming off the back of a big Bridges win, and Bridges were going very well this year, and for Cuala to dismantle them like that, they're doing a lot right in Cuala with Willie Maher and Dave Harris he brought in as a coach, so a lot of talent there.
And you talk about a lot of the young lads that Cuala have, but I mean, it's one of the old timers, I suppose, David Tracy. I mean, what an impact he had on that Bridges game. I think 14 points. I did that game here with TG Carr, with Liam Rush that day, and I mean, he had 10 from frees. But his impact on the overall play, I mean, just linking things beautifully, picking off a couple of puck outs from Sean Brennan even. I mean, he brings so much to this Cuala team, doesn't he?
Massive amount, and he's a 90% free taker, which is so crucial for a team like that. And what David Tracy brings to the table, and Sean, his brother as well, is their ball into the forward line is excellent. So if they can isolate Con in there, leave a bit of space, Sean and David can hit this head-high ball 20 yards into space, and Con, when he gets that kind of ball, is just ruthless. So Cuala have a system that they've developed and defined over the couple of years where they really try target Mark and Con with space in front of them, and the ball in is just can't be understated how good it is, and it gives that forward that extra couple of yards to take his man on.
Because that would be a mistake for Lucan as well, Owen, wouldn't it, be to focus all your energies on Con, because Cuala do have other lads outside, like Diarmuid O'Flynn got 1-1 the last day, Sean Moran a point against Bridges but 2-1 against Nafina. You've mentioned shooting, and even young Liam Murphy in the corner, he was really good the last day I thought against Bridges.
Yeah, absolutely, and if Lucan were to focus solely on Con, Con didn't even play against Bridges, and Cuala had a massive performance, so Cuala just have talent all over the pitch. But I think the approach that Lucan, and from word from their camp, is just that they're coming in with no fear. They're not going to show Cuala any respect. They're going to try hunt them down. They're going to try tackle. They're going to try hook and block, and that's what really brought a massive hunger to the game the last day for Lucan, and it was successful for them. Having said that, Cuala have obviously gone and done their homework, and Lucan were massively reliant on the two Crummy brothers and say Peter Kelly for puck outs. So it'd be interesting to see the matchups there. You'd think Cian O'Callaghan and Paul Crummy be no strangers to each other. They've marked each other a lot in training, so that's going to be a titanic battle. I'd imagine John Shannon, who is kind of the marquee man marker for Cuala, will follow Crummy everywhere, and they're too tough man marker. So Lucan, if they're going to get over this, are going to need players all over the pitch to step up, because the two lads are going to be an awful under pressure.
Well, they certainly are, and the referee this afternoon is Sean Stack for that first game, and he has blown his whistle, and he's asked for both teams to get into position. As Owen has mentioned already, Willie Maher the Cuala Bannister. He has already looked after Tipperary teams to minor and under 21 success in the past. And then if you look at Lucan Sarsfields, Sean McCaffrey, their manager, and interesting to look at his post-match analysis of that Crokes game. Spoke quite a bit about getting their matchup right. He spoke as well about being so important and to stay in the hunt, but he really focused on those matchups. So hopefully from a Lucan point of view, those matchups can be got right again today against Cuala. And again, one day that everyone has been looking forward to is a place in the county final, a place that Lucan haven't had for quite some time, as we're looking there. And it's a good block there from John Bellew on Diarmuid O'Flynn, but that'll still break, and here it comes indeed. And that's the first score of the day, and it's a first score for Niall Carty. Niall, who started the last day instead of Con O'Callaghan, but he's on the scoreboard early on. Yeah, and we can see Con is full forward there, being marked by Alan Murphy, so that'll be a good matchup. Straight away, Lucan throwing the hurls in and the shoulders in before the ball is thrown in, and the same hunger brought again. So hopefully now they can get a grasp on this fairly quickly. Breaks in around midfield, but that should be simple enough for Ushing Goff, who clears that out towards Malone, Jake Malone. Great hit on Malone there, but he still manages to get that one away to John Sheenan. And in the end, well, you can hear what that means to Lucan. The shoulders are going in again. I think that was Crummy on Sheenan. Paul Crummy, I should say, as opposed to Chris. But Sean Stack, the ref, has blown his whistle, and it will be a first chance of the afternoon. And Ben Coffey looks like he's got the Schlitter in his hands, and he'll have that first effort on. Nice free for Ben Coffey to start himself just inside the 45 in front of the goal, so should settle nerves. But really good turnover from Lucan there. They hunted in packs, and Jake Malone, strong, fast player, so Lucan did really well to turn him over there. Ben Coffey lifts, strikes, and that's a lovely start. And despite Sean Brennan saying that was wide, but that's between the sticks, and a first point for Ben Coffey, who got 6 in the quarter-final against Crokes. A good start for him. Super puck out there from Sean Brennan. And here we have David Tracy. Tracy sizes that one up, and that one just stayed to the right, and he'll be disappointed with that because he had a bit of space, did Tracy? Yeah, normally you put your house on Tracy to score from there, but what a well worked puck out from Cuala there. Everybody dropped deep. Sean Moran, who's lined out as centre forward, dropped in towards his own 14 and made a massive run of 50 yards of space in front of him, and Sean Brennan picked out. So Cuala have so many systems and stuff that they try to implement throughout the game. Killian Murray with the puck out for Lucan. Tries to put that one on top of Chris Crummy, and Chris is trying to get that one up, but instead that's gathered by Goff. Excuse me, it's Diarmuid O'Flynn, and that shoulder comes across O'Flynn from John Bellew, but it's gone over the end line. Lucan again bring a massive physicality to this. That's 2 huge shoulders, and the game is only less than 3 minutes gone. So, and the energy and the sound in the stadium here is massive, and Lucan will feed off this as much as they can. And that's important, Owen, isn't it? I mean, like, for both these clubs, obviously, mums, dads, brothers, sisters, grannies, granddads at home watching this. You know, not having your family and friends and your club mates here to watch it. You know, you do miss it. Yeah, absolutely, John. It is a shame that 2 great games here in Parnell Park, and I really don't see the logic behind not having a few fans here, but it's a story for another day. Kevin Fitzgerald with the riposte there for Lucan, and again just a little bit of a mix up there from Sean Brennan, a loose pass to Michael Conroy, and in the end Kevin Fitzgerald with the point, and Lucan gone ahead. Great start to the game so far, great intensity, and both teams have gone at this full for leather. There's no feeling each other out or anything like that. They're both going at it. Pushing the back maybe there on Shute, but on we go. Mark McCaffrey across to Crummy. John Bellew doing well, ploughs ahead. Shute trying to stop him, and in the end advantage being played. Well played by the ref there, Sean Stack. Tried to give Lucan the advantage, but back we come, and Coffey again with the Schlitter in his hand, and he'll go for a score here. Really good play by John Bellew there. He's one of the standout players of this Dublin Championship so far. Very solid game the last day, and then again just great tackle on Mark Shute. Takes the ball, wins his free, and another chance for Ben Coffey to push Lucan 2 ahead. Coffey, so with this effort, the second from a free, and he's hit that one, but that one will stay to the right and wide, so it's 1 wide apiece. after 4 minutes or so here in Parnell Park in the first of these Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-finals. Sean Brennan, the Cuala goalkeeper, made his debut for the Dubs in 2019 against Laois. He looks and he finds. That's a super puck out towards Carty. But Carty, look at that, 4 from Lucan around him. And he loses possession. Will O'Flynn manage to lift that? He won't. Coffey maybe. Instead that'll break to Paul Rigney, who pulls on that first time on the ground. Darragh O'Connell, the Cuala captain. It'll come back towards O'Connell. Won a Christie ring in 2011 with Kerry. He's obviously lined out for the Dubs as well. Here he is today for his club Cuala. Again, not an ounce of space for either side in these early exchanges. And unfortunately there, I think Paul Claffey went over the end line, so it'll be a sideline cut to Cuala and David Tracy to take this one.
In an effort to stop the Cuala puck out, Lucan have played very zonal defence. That Johnny McCaffrey standing out to the left, John Bellew standing out to the right there, and they're just kind of marking whoever runs into that space.
Conor Callahan there with number 11 on his back for Cuala. Obviously missed the quarter-final against Bridges with a knee injury, but he's here today. No sign of any injury or any strapping or anything like that. Great to see him back out there representing his club. Goes Kieran Dowling for Lucan trying to get that, but Sean Tracy gets it, pass to his brother David. David looks up and he has missed a second one from a similar angle. And as you said with the first one, Owen, very unlike him.
Very unlike him, and both times had that just small bit extra time to settle and compose himself, so he'll be disappointed with that. But you know, David Tracy has a long time playing, he's a lot of experience, so will settle himself and get into the game. But the shout from the Lucan bench once that went wide was enormous.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, no family, no friends, no supporters in here, as we're looking at Peter Kelly there. What a take from him in the air. Gives that one off to Ben Coffey. Coffey trying to play away Malone, trying to stop him. 3 from Cuala around him. Instead he gives that one away to Paul Crummy. And foul on the Schlitter there, says the ref. And it'll be puck out free to Cuala. But again, without those supporters in here, so important that the players do hear their subs, do hear their management. And Lucan are certainly making their voices heard in the early exchanges. 7 minutes gone. 2 points to Lucan, 1 point to Cuala. Kevin Fitzgerald point earlier for Lucan, puts that one across here towards John McCaffrey. McCaffrey looking up into the corner. Again, where will this break? That one breaks there towards CJ Smith, number 25 on his back. Didn't see that change beforehand, so we'll keep an eye on that. And in the end, there'll be a sideline cook to Lucan.
Yeah, the one worry I'd have for Lucan is that, you know, their game plan is massively focused around tackles and energy and hunting them down, but also a big part of the last day was isolating Paul Crummy in one-on-one, and there Johnny McCaffrey had the opportunity to put it down on top of himself and Keane O'Callaghan and tried the angle ball instead. Maybe try to stick to what was working the last day, because Paul Crummy is some ball winner in there.
John Brennan did really well there from that sideline cut from Ben Coffey. Tries to send that one down here towards Sean Moran, but cut out nicely by Paul Rigney. Read that really well. Tried to pick out Ben Coffey, but in the end finds Ronan Smith. Smith with Shannon, tried to come across him. Shannon does well, but he still manages to find space. And still finds Paul Crummy. Crummy trips. Now Carty still with him. Crummy shortens the grip. Did really well there, did Crummy. And that's Lucan further ahead. They're 3-1 up now.
Really well done by Paul Crummy there. Even Slip managed to take his steps and put it over the bar. Wouldn't be surprised now. I see Oisin Goff has gone down injured. I say he's trying to take the momentum out of the game. Cuala have so much experience, and with Dave Hershey and Willie Maher there, they're so well drilled on things like that they know when things aren't necessarily going the way, they'll try to break the momentum.
Well, indeed, nice early score from Niall Carty for Cuala after a minute, but ever since then, minute 2, 3 and 8, it's been Coffey, Fitzgerald and Crummy for Lucan. And again, you know, we talk about Lucan and searching for that first title. They reached a final in 2013 where they lost to Bowden. But I mean, like Owen, Lucan are a team that have been coming the last couple of years, and kind of similar to Nafeen in many ways, with a couple of underage titles at under 21 level in particular, 2014, 2019. A lot of youngsters coming through this Lucan side, and you'd imagine it's only a matter of time before they do make that senior breakthrough. But obviously there's plenty of other clubs in Dublin who have something to say about that.
Yeah, I think a big thing for Lucan is their size. With forwards like Paul Crummy, Chris Crummy, Peter Kelly, Ronan Smith, these are all well-built lads that have got a couple of years strength and conditioning under their belt, and it really does show out there that they're well able to fight and win their own ball.
And Sean Stack, the ref, has blown his whistle. Enough messing on the ground there, and he throws it in, and results in something similar. And it'll be a free to Lucan. And from that kind of distance, you'd imagine Ben Coffey will come over, will ask for the Schlitter, and he'll go for his second score of the game.
Yeah, and 10 minutes gone, Lucan the better team so far. Cuala probably trying to play that the usual passing game, that they throw the ball around to the person in the right position and then try to let it in. But the way Lucan are hunting them down, just Cuala haven't had that time to try find the right person. Might be better off trying to get the ball in any way they can and trying to make a dogfight of up there. But this game that Lucan are playing takes massive energy, and the more this goes on, Cuala will be trying to implement their own plan on things.
Ben Coffey, second free of the afternoon, and he hits that one nice and straight between the posts. 10 minutes, 4 points for Lucan, 2 for Ben Coffey. Cuala with a chance for a reply straight away. Liam Murphy has it for the first time in the game this afternoon. And again, look at that for a reaction from the Lucan subs. Right behind Paul Claffey there. But again, in terms of that physicality as well, Owen, you kind of look at the two quarterfinals that both teams had. Cuala had it much the easier against Bridges. Yes, they had to work hard for it, but I mean, like, a fair old gap between the sides by the end. Lucan, on the other hand, really had to come through a battle with Crokes, and you'd imagine would steal them for a game like this today, and in particular the tactics that they're going to try to implement.
Yeah, absolutely. And what it does for Lucan is it shows and gives them faith that what they're doing is working. Take a big scalp like Crokes when no one thought they had a chance, coming in as massive underdogs, and then to turn them over gives them massive encouragement going in here.
And again, there was only a point between them at the end, but Crokes did get a late goal to maybe flatter them a little bit. As we're looking there, nice block there from Conroy, Michael Conroy. Danger still not gone, but in the end Sean Tracy managed to tidy things up. Michael Conroy did well in the corner there for Cuala. Played under 20s with the Dubs in 2019.
And similar to the last day, Johnny McCaffrey's playing centre back, but the second Cuala try hit the ball into that full forward line, he's turning and running straight back, and Ronan Smith, who was a great engine on him, is turning and trying to catch the Cuala centre forward, so Lucan have that extra bit of protection.
Alan Murphy, the fullback for Lucan, did really well to find Peter Kelly there, and if the pass was good, the execution was even better from Kelly. That's a super score.
Really good score. Peter Kelly just found himself in space there, and he'll put them over all day long. Jake Malone has kind of lost him. It seems that Jake Malone is man marking Peter Kelly on that far side.
That's 5 points now without reply for Lucan. Cuala with the early score, and whatever since then it's been all Lucan. Nice pass from Kieran Dowling, did really well to find Fitzgerald there. Bit of a foul on him, but on we go, and that'll be a Cuala ball. Again, nothing easy at all coming for either side. Sean Tracy with this sideline cut for Cuala. Tracy assessing his options. Nothing much available. So tried to get that one towards Sean Moran. And Moran will eventually, well, thought he might, but he ends up on his backside as Lucan players come swarming around him. And again, Lucan come away with it. Fitzgerald, nicely controlled, great pass there towards Rigney, and Paul Rigney then puts a low one in towards Crummy. And again, ref is happy enough to let those kind of 50-50 battles play out.
Yeah, letting the game flow and only blowing it when he has to, so that's great. It's really giving a good intensity to the game.
Here goes Dowling. Kieran Dowling looks around, picks out a lovely pass there. Well, just overcooked it slightly, but McCaffrey will have space, and Peter Kelly is in acres of room here. He picks out Kelly, just again slightly too strong in the pass, Frustration etched all over Kelly's body language there, because he knew he had space there.
Yeah, it was frustrating to watch because you could see both pass there. Great idea, and just that tiny bit too tall.
Jake Malone, great pass here towards Murphy. Murphy has his first sight on the target, and it's another wide from Cuala. Well, they couldn't miss anything the last day against Bridget's, but they've put 3 wide in the opening 14-15 minutes here in Parnell Park.
And 3 very poor wides. Lee Murphy did very well out in front and bodies time, with the 2 wides from David Tracy and the wide there from Lee Murphy. It's so uncharacteristic of these normally clinical forwards.
Paul Claffey makes that puck out from Killian Murray. Again, right underneath us here. And, well, between Goff and Crummy, and I think Tracy or Niall Carty as well. Eventually just standing on the schlitter, and Sean Stack will bring it out, and he'll invite another 2 lads in to scrap for it. Here comes O'Flynn. O'Flynn does well there to find Carty. Carty steadies himself, and well, they've been consistent in that they've put 4 of them to the right of the posts, but from a Cuala point of view and from Willie Maher's point of view, he won't be too happy with that shooting. But from a Lucan point of view, Owen, as we go towards the first water break here after 15 minutes or so, 5-1 up after 15 minutes, and we can see just some of those highlights in that first quarter's action.
Lucan very much the dominant team so far. You know, you look to lads like Sean Moore and Mark Shute, Con O'Callaghan. None of these lads have gotten the ball even in their hand yet. So Dave Hershey, Willie Murphy, like I've said, they're not going to be one bit happy now going into this minute break.
But again, we see examples of it that they've been hunting in packs, 3-4 of them there trying to stop Cuala, which they managed to do in the end. And this is that first score from Ben Coffey from a free after 2 minutes. And from there on in, it was really all Lucan in terms of the scoreboard. Cuala did have their chances, but again, it was sloppy play as well. I mean, like Sean Brennan in the goals there trying to pick out Michael Conroy. I mean, that's not really what you expect from a team of Cuala's calibre.
No, and where that's coming from is because of the pressure Lucan are putting on, that even when Cuala have that extra bit of time, they're expecting the man to come in, they're expecting the hit, and as a result they're rushing everything, and they're giving that pass just 2 yards too wide or 2 yards too high. And you know, it's very uncharacteristic of David Tracy to put 2 wides there. And you know, it's just so unlike him that he'd normally put your house on him to score from there. And long way to go yet, don't get me wrong, long way to go, but Cuala do seem rattled in the first 15 minutes. I'll
remind you that writing Cuala off after 15 minutes by the end.
Long way to go, long way to
go. Really nice action there as well from Paul Crummy to get that score. He shortened the grip, knew that the pressure was on him, and again we've had plenty to enjoy in the first 15 minutes, and it's a big day for Lucan Sarsfields. Obviously their senior team are in this semi-final here, but their junior A and their junior B hurlers are also in semi-final action against Rail Darragh and Fogs. So big day for the club as we were watching that one, and that's a poor start to the second quarter from Killian Murray there, putting that puck out straight over the sideline. Killian, who did so well in that quarter final against Crokes, particularly the penalty save obviously from Ronan Hayes in that second half, early in the second half after only 7 minutes. There was another opportunity laid on for Crokes that he did really well to stop. Nice pass into space. Crummy might yet get that one. Paul Crummy, the younger of the 2 brothers. Instead, Darragh O'Connell, the Cuala captain, will win that free.
There's a good battle between Keane and Paul there. Keane did well just to hold him up in it and break the ball, then wait for reinforcements and Darragh O'Connell to come in.
Oisin Goff with this free for Cuala. Made his Dubs debut in 2009. A National League winner, a Leinster senior winner. As we're watching Diarmuid O'Flynn now, hair away from Ronan Smith. O'Flynn still has it. Now we'll need reinforcements. Finds it from what a block that is from Matt McCaffrey. And Murphy getting one back, but that'll be a line ball for Lucan. But again, like Murphy tearing away their own, but he didn't just have one person from Lucan to deal with, he had 2 to deal with, and again that's been the recurring theme.
Yeah, and the second man in, Matt, to get the block like that, really well done. Cuala probably looking good this quarter though. Diarmuid O'Flynn is such a strong runner with the ball, and you know, he had a lot of traction against Finn, and it wasn't Cuala's best game, but when he's running at you, very difficult man to stop.
And everyone arguing the toss here. Linesman doesn't know, ref doesn't know, so I'd say we'll have the throw in here, and I think we will. Longstack throws it in. Tracy gets it. Passes it off to Carty, but he loses it out to Ken Fitzgerald. It's beautiful again from Matt McCaffrey, the left half back for Lucan. Kieran Dowling passes that one off to CJ Smith. CJ, back will come. Again, advantage being played. And there'll be another free for Lucan. And there's not many who would have predicted that Cuala after 20 minutes would only have 1 point. But again, we've seen plenty of examples of just that tigerish, the ferocity of the Lucan play from 1 to 15, or to 25 as it is on CJ Smith's back.
Yeah, and the discipline that they're using as well. Cuala only have 1 point in the game so far, but have had no scoring chances from frees. Lucan are being very disciplined. They're hitting fairly, hitting shoulder to shoulder. So Lucan playing really well so far.
McCaffrey, that one's going to break in and around the square. In the end, Sean Tracy does well to put that out towards Jake Malone. Malone against Kelly. Kelly tries to narrow the angles for him, but this is, believe it or not, first time we've really seen Shude. Shude falls to the floor. Paul Rigney across him. Shude now with a little bit of space, but I think a late hit there. And this is certainly what Cuala need.
Yeah, commentators curse there. They were talking about the discipline, and this is Cuala's first chance from a free to score now. But good to see Mark Shude getting involved. Such a big presence up there when he's on form. Like if you see Mark Shude, 6'3", built like an absolute brick. So when he gets the ball, very difficult to do anything but foul him.
Tracy settles himself. 2 bad wides from play. Settles himself, strikes that well. And that's the first score from a free for David Tracy after 21 minutes.
Yeah, for a Cuala team that haven't been massively involved in with a couple of their key forwards, still only 3 points behind. So Lucan needs to start paying dividend for the possession that they're having.
Really nice interplay from Lucan there. Killian Murray to his corner back, Paul Claffey. In the end they found Coffey, and here they are with a free in and around midfield that should be in range for Ben Coffey. But again, it's that the precise nature. We can talk about the ferocity of their tackling and their defensive work, Owen, but a really good example there of just crisp play, accurate passing, and how effective they can be.
Yeah, really good ball. Once the ball has gone up the hand like that, it increases your play by a couple of seconds at each play, that you're not bending down to pick up the ball or taking a second touch, and allows you to make that crisp passes. So good play from Lucan.
Ben Coffey with 2 frees so far in the game. Chance to put an answer on the scoreboard for Lucan straight after that Cuala point, and he does his duty there really well. 3 from 3 from the frees for Coffey. 23 minutes gone in Parnell Park in the first of the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-finals. Lovely play there from Con O'Callaghan. Manages to flick that one back towards Darragh O'Connell, who then in turn finds Diarmuid O'Flynn, and that's better there from Cuala.
Really good score. Alan Murphy down now. Again, wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to suck the momentum out of the game. I don't think he was involved in any contact there. But what Cuala are trying to do on the puck out is they're all dropping deep towards the Lucan goal and then making 40 yards, 50 yards run into space there. And Con O'Callaghan is very strong out in front and gets a nice pass back to Diarmuid O'Flynn to put it over.
Yeah, interesting battle there. Johnny McCaffrey keeping a very close eye on Con O'Callaghan.
I may have spoke too quickly on Ali. He seems to be coming off it.
Yeah, Alan Murphy there, the Lucan fullback.
An existing injury or something, but
yeah, it doesn't look good for Alan. And we'll wait and see who's. Looks like it's number 26, and that's Ono Canela. He'll be coming in here now for Alan Murphy. Not nice to see that. And again, as Owen was kind of saying, there was no real sign of contact or anything like that, so it might have been a pre-existing muscle injury or something like that might have been impacting on Alan.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, and it's a pity he's going off now because he's done very well. So not many players can say after 25 minutes Con O'Callaghan's only touched the ball once. So
here comes CJ Smith. Cian O'Callaghan in hot pursuit of him. Smith still has it though. Again, picks out Coffey. Loses it, but it still comes as far as Chris Crummy. Crummy over the shoulder. And that one's still there. Sean Brennan had to be alive to that one. In the end, did really well to find Oisin Goff, who found O'Flynn. And in the end, they managed to find Sean Tracy, who should tidy things up through Sean Brennan again, the goalkeeper. Again, look at that for a pass. Shute into the corner, into space. Controlled beautifully there by Murphy. But again, what a battle we're having in the corner. Paul Claffey coming across there, stopping Murphy, and in the end, Lucan come out with that one.
Really well done by Paul Claffey there to dispossess him. This great corner back play. Just stood him up.
Because Liam had space there, he'd created it, and the pass was into space, etc.
Yeah,
all advantage was with Murphy.
What Claffey seemed to do was just hassle him until he saw Liam Murphy throw the ball up for the solo and then make his pounce in. So really well done, and Lucan driving out and win the free then.
And the first yellow card of the afternoon has been awarded there to Sean Moran from Cuala. A huge impact on the game the last day against Bridges, but a little bit quieter this afternoon. But again, you'd give credit to Lucan and their players and how they've performed rather than any slight on Sean Moran.
Yeah, and probably it's a toss-up or a trade-up between what you're putting Sean Moran in the forwards, that you've a bit more firepower. But Sean Moran's a great ability is to get good ball in. He's some strike for ball and has probably been their main distributor in other games. So you're sacrificing one thing to pay the other.
Again, that's one trait that should be remarked upon, is the extra player that Cuala do have. So those balls that Lucan are putting in and trying to find Paul Crummy, if they're not accurate, more often than not Cuala are going to have an extra player back there. And another foul there on Con O'Callaghan. Lucan, their players, their bench, not one bit happy with that decision from Sean Stack.
Probably was pushing it back, just a bit over enthusiastic going into it, but a chance for Cuala to reduce the deficit to 2 now. And Cuala will slowly play themselves into the game. They've been around a long time and they won't panic just yet.
And kind of similar enough to what you said earlier as well, Owen, in that after 15 minutes you're kind of looking at 4 points of a difference. But I mean, it's so long still to go in the game, and again, if they can get this, be back down to 2 as we're heading towards half time, you'd imagine that's a position that they'd be fairly happy to take.
The worry would be for Lucan that is if lads like Sean Moran starts playing into the game, Con only needs one chance and it's a goal. So yeah,
again that's Tracy again straight over. That's a second point from frees from David Tracy. 2 bad misses earlier, but he's played himself back into the game. A couple of nice touches from play, and now 2 nice scores from frees. 4 wides to Cuala, 1 wide for Lucan. And breaking on the far side, and the linesman says it'll be a Cuala ball. And there's plenty not happy with that decision or something on the far side, but referee just trying to clear away a bit of space there. Oh, Flint, shoulder comes across him from Kevin Fitzgerald. Carty slips away, and then with the right boot fires it into the stand, and to the joyous applause of the Lucan Sarsfields bench.
Yeah, Lucan's certainly happy about that one, but Niall Carty has been playing well. He's put himself about, got a point early on in the game.
And there's a bit of messing on the far side as well, Owen. Both sets of management teams, I won't name anyone, but having to be separated by the stewards on the far side. And it looks like a member of the Cuala management team or backroom team has been sent to the stands. Willie Marr, their manager, appealing with the referee, but his decision is made.
Yeah, I don't think there was a massive amount in it, just caught up in the heat of things. It's an intense game, but we'll get back to the hurling.
It's not like a contested line ball to get people a little bit animated on the sideline. On we go with the play, and on we go with Ronan Smith. Nice hand pass there towards Peter Kelly. Peter Kelly from a long way out from over along the sideline, but he's put that one wide. He scored one earlier, but that one's a wide.
Wide ball, but has to be said, Peter Kelly's playing really well. 2 high puck outs and a point to his name already, so doing really well.
Dar O'Connell, there's Con O'Callaghan. Doesn't manage to get that on the first or the second effort, but on the third effort gets it. Little hand pass there towards O'Flynn. Here comes now Sean Tracy racing through. Ronan Smith trying to stop him, does really well to put that one out towards David Tracy. Tracy across the pitch. Moran steadies, Moran fires, and that's good in goal from Murray, but it's put wide. Well, again, you could see what they were trying to do. 2 or 3 times there was definitely opportunities for points, but they wanted to get that goal.
Yeah, and Sean probably better off taking his point there, but goal on his mind, probably didn't connect with it as well as he'd like to. But Cuala are so threatening when they run at you like pace like that, and they 3 or 4 runners off Sean Tracy's shoulder there.
And they didn't miss a beat either, did they, Owen? I mean, like the hand passes, the short stick work as well was really nice and crisp. And Killian Murray in goal for Lucan did well under that first effort from Sean Moran, and then ultimately it was a wide ball in the end. But Cuala starting to play better, certainly since that water break after 15 minutes. Fitzgerald. It's a high one, but again it favours the Cuala backs as Crummy comes out pushing the back on him, and again that'll just give Lucan and Ben Coffey an opportunity to answer straight back here.
Yeah, I think it was just the cause pushing the back from Keane O'Callaghan there, but great game so far, has to be said. Just coming up to half time now, both teams are really going hell for leather at it and not giving each other an inch. It looks like Con O'Callaghan's come out to centre forward now, trying to pick up a small bit more ball, and David Tracy's gone inside.
Ben Coffey for Lucan. He's had 3 opportunities from place balls. He's got 3 scores. Coffey makes that 4 from 4. %, return for the left half forward. Doing really well from the place balls, but also from play. Schutte does nicely there to find Malone. In turn finds Carty. Carty, a little bit of space there for Tracy. And again, Lucan backs, doing really well. Fitzgerald. Nice hand pass towards Crummy. Crummy now looks up. Tries to find Smith in the corner. Smith appealing to the referee that he was pulled. But the ref not interested, and that'll go down as a wide for Lucan.
Yeah, maybe the shot was on for Crummy there. He might have taken his point. He's a great striker of the ball and well able to score, so hindsight is a great thing though.
Line ball to Lucan here. Despite Jim O'Flynn's best efforts, that one evades him. And Johnny McCaffrey had a quick look at the clock there. Be in no rush to take this one. 33 minutes on the clock here in Parnell Park, in the first of our Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-finals. Crummy does well to get that. Nice block from Tracy. And that'll be a free to Lucan, and a free one there by Paul Crummy.
Yeah, I think he just tripped over David Tracy's feet there. Lucan have been the dominant team so far, but to be only 3 points up now, 4 maybe after this, but Lucan probably would want more traction from the success they've had, because if Cuala can start getting a couple of key players into the game and clicking up through the gears, they won't be long reducing that deficit.
Ben Coffey for Lucan. Hits that one, and that one has gone to the right and wide, and that's the first wide of the afternoon for Ben from place balls. Sean Brennan takes a quick one to Sean Tracy, then into space towards O'Flynn. That's that bounce, controls it really well. Bit of space now, passes that inside towards Schutte. Schutte making in on Murray's goal. Murray does really well, stands his ground as Schutte bore down on him, and that's the second save from Killian Murray in goals for Lucan Sarsfields.
Done really well. First save was probably more routine, but that second save done really, really well. Mark Schutte coming in at an angle. Maybe taking his point was slightly further out in an angle, but David Tracy will make no mistake here, I'm sure. What's interesting, the Cuala puck out is so interesting that Sean Tracy, who number 9 and playing midfield in his back, received that on his own 21. And every time we look down, it seems that Cuala are playing a different sweeper, whether it's Darragh O'Connell or Sean Tracy. It seems that they push and flow like a yo-yo. If Sean Tracy pushes forward, Darragh O'Connell sits back, and vice versa. But they have a really nice system working for them there.
There is Tracy with the fifth point of the afternoon for Cuala. And there is the half-time whistle blown there by the referee, Sean Stack. And as we're looking at the action as the players head in, nothing really to report. They're all going over to their respective benches, but a really entertaining first half here in Parnell Park. David Tracy narrowing the gap there to 2 points, but it's Lucan who've had the majority of the play in this first half. And Owen, we can just kind of see some of the highlights of that first half as we take a look back at that first score of the afternoon for Carty. But from there on in, it really was Lucan.
Yeah, really entertaining game of hurling so far. Probably not the entertaining in the sense of fancy flick works, great scores, but really entertaining from the aspect of hard work, hooks and blocks, and getting people around the ball, and massive intensity so far. Probably what I've said so far is Lucan will be disappointed. Very happy to be up 2 points at half time, but for the possession and control that they've had of the game, only to be 2 up. The two Crummy brothers have probably been well marshalled compared to the last day. Find it slightly tougher to get back into the game, maybe in the second half now, if they can get a few puck outs or something like that. But Peter Kelly playing very well from wing forward. Paul Crummy did a really nice point from Paul Crummy, great composure to fall and get back up and put it over.
Again, from Cuala's point of view then, I mean, they did well to come back towards the second half of the half, as it were. Like Diarmuid O'Flynn got a score, David Tracy again. But, at half-time, as Willie Maher is kind of chatting to them and he's kind of trying to identify the things that they need to do better, what do you think he'll be kind of focusing on?
Probably trying to get some of his more key players into the game. You've Sean Moran up there, Conor Callan, Mark Schutte. They've been quite enough by their standards. And partly because of that is Cuala don't have the time to get the ball into them, so it's going to come to a stage now where they need to win the more dirty ball rather than the clean ball they're used to. Diarmuid O'Flynn, probably the standout performer from the Cuala forwards, has gotten a lot of ball here just below us on the right side of the pitch, and very direct runner when he's running at them. Cuala probably will up this now by 10 or 15% at half time. They've a lot of players that have performed under par, and if 2 or 3 of them step up, this is going to be a different second half.
Yeah, well, just as we're looking at the highlights there, I mean, it's something that you spoke about, Owen, and we saw images there of the likes of Liam Murphy and David Tracy, Niall Carty, like uncharacteristic wides for players of their ability as well.
Uncharacteristic, yeah, and I'd say, if I had to guess, what the reason for that is the pressure that Lucan are putting on them is just making Cuala rush that small bit more, that even when they have that slight bit more time, they anticipate a tackle coming in or a hook or block, and they're just snatching at the shot, getting off, because David Tracy is one of the finest stick players in the country, and Lee Murphy the same, so them lads would normally stick it over all day long. But really good battle. Both teams have brought a massive energy to it. You can hear the benches shouting and roaring at every decision. You can see the managers getting heated over on the far side.
This was that goal opportunity that they had. I mean, it was the effort initially from Sean Moran, and then the follow-up. Yeah, it was Liam Murphy with the follow-up, but he drove it wide. But Cillian Murray has done well in goals for Lucan, in particular on that second save, which we'll see in a few moments.
Done very well, and hindsight looking at that, ball was bouncing and you can only deal with what's in front of him, and dealt with it very well in a safe manner, so a great positive for Lucan to have, and he's very vocal back there. You can hear him shouting.
Here's that opportunity that Schutte had. Made himself big, didn't he?
Yeah, very, very good save. Mark, probably the experience he have might have been better going low. They're always more difficult when they're bouncing off the ground, but Mark has kind of come into the game a small bit more there in the last 10 minutes of the first half, and he's such a big presence up front for them that he really, the lads look to him a lot.
Excellent. Well, listen, thanks a million for your contribution this first half, Owen. We will be back, of course, with the second half, but as it stands at half time, it's Lucan Sarsfields that are in front. They've got 7 points. Cuala, the defending and reigning champions, have 5. We'll have the second half for you on Dubs TV after this break. And you're very welcome back to Parnell Park for the second half of this Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-final, the first of two encounters, the first between Lucan and Cuala, and then later on today we have Nafina taking on Ballyboden St. Enda's. Owen O'Donnell here with me for the first half. Owen, I think we were just chatting about it there, a hugely entertaining and enjoyable first half of hurling between Lucan, who leads 7-5 against the reigning champions Cuala.
Really good first half, and hopefully more at the second. Can see straight away that Colm Cronin is on for Cuala. Struggling to see who came off, but we'll find out that now in the next few minutes.
Lucan on the attack early in this second half. Here comes Smith, CJ Smith, who started the game instead of Donald Flannery. He had the advantage, he'll win his free. And again, similar start to the second half as Lucan had to the end to the first half, if you follow me. Just really positive, really aggressive, and getting the rewards there, and this should be a tap over for Ben Coffey.
Yeah, CJ Smith is more of a footballer. He's probably around that Dublin football panel, and probably doesn't have a massive amount of hurling under his belt, but has that athleticism and natural skill to make up for it. So really good start to the second half for him.
First opportunity in this second half for Ben Coffey after 50 seconds or so. He put one wide, but he was very accurate with the other four, and he started the second half in a similar fashion. That's Lucan now with 8 points registered early in the second half, and a really good start. Sean Brennan goes out to the right hand side. And the players trying to lift it, but no joy so far. Referee Sean Stack happy to let it go, as he did in the first half. But in the end, that'll be a line ball, and it'll be a line ball to Cuala.
Second half has started very much the way the first half finished. A lot of intensity, a lot of aggression out there, and them huddles and rucks have been very common, just because both teams are flying and committing bodies to the break.
Still some debate on the far sideline as to whose ball it is. But Darragh O'Connell, the Cuala captain, not paying any heed to that debate. He's getting himself ready to take it. Looks inside, sees Liam Murphy. That's a poor one, but they might just about get that one. And indeed, Colm Cronin, his first involvement of the second half since coming in at half time. A foul on him, and David Tracy with the Schlitter in his possession now.
Lucan's discipline in the first half was excellent, and sorry, just looked like David Tracy's going to hit a short one there. Lucan's discipline in the first half was very good, and if they're going to let that slip and give needless frees away like that, Cuala will be very quickly punishing them.
First opportunity of the second half for Cuala. David Tracy, who got 3 in the first half, and that one has just about crept inside the right hand post, and that's 4 for Tracy, and it's 6 for Cuala.
Yeah, Cuala still finding it hard to close the gap there. That 2 points, I'm not sure whether they've got it down to 1 at any stage yet.
Indeed, Cuala started us off this afternoon with a point from Niall Carty, and from there on in it was all Lucan. 5 points in a row that they got to put them 5-1 ahead. And Cuala have done well to battle back to being only the 2 points behind, but they're certainly in a battle here this afternoon. Johnny Shannon, 2 cousins on the panel as well, and Killian and Cullum. Puts that one out here towards O'Flynn. O'Flynn tears away from Johnny McCaffrey. O'Flynn settles himself, but Johnny McCaffrey did really well to stick to his task. Big tall one towards CJ Smith, tries to control that, bounces off the helmet, and that'll be a Cuala ball.
Yeah, Oceangoff did well there just to keep him under pressure and follow him out. CJ Smith is a very quick player and running into space like that, so Oceangoff did well there.
Darragh O'Connell again with this line cut for Cuala, and another poor one. Tom Cronin, to be fair to him, did well to rescue the situation initially for Cuala. But again, Minnie Malee on the far side as the players try to gather and control the Schlitter. In the end, Sean Stack will pull them out and throw it in between Ronan Smith and Sean Tracy. Or sorry, Colm Cronin.
Colin Cronin has done well since coming on. It's early days yet, but he's already been involved in 3 or 4 plays.
Lucan players appealing for a throw there, but Jake Malone pays them no heed. That's a poor ball which Paul Claffey should gather, and does really well to find his left corner back, Paul Rigney, but Paul couldn't control it and out it goes.
Yeah, David Tracy will be quite good at these as well. I see him going across. I want to really try get a score from it. It's always hard to know whether you're better off playing the percentage ball like this.
Con O'Callaghan again, his own kind of alluded to in the first half. Cuala have so many plays, so many strategies, and you could see Con O'Callaghan went in on the edge of the square, acres of space in front of him, and Tracy just picked out that space. Now Con was unfortunate, wasn't able to gather it, but again, so many different plays that they like to use. Oh, that's beautiful from the Crummy brothers, and that is stunning hurling from Paul and Chris Crummy.
Score of the day, absolutely fantastic. Crossfield ball, Paul Crummy out in front, massive leap in the air, and then laid off to Chris to put it over the bar. Really, really well worked score.
Score of the day, as Owen O'Donnell has said here beside me. Really good interplay, and for all the physicality that Lucan have brought, there's a finesse as well to their hurling when they need it. Cuala players appealing for a foul there, but on we go. Ronan Smith. Smith low and trying to find Ben Coffey. Didn't find him initially, but Ben did well to put pressure there on Jake Malone. Lovely cut from Jake Malone, tries to find Shuthei, who bats that one down towards Sean Moran. Now puts that one in towards O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan with the right peg, and oh, did he take a late swing there from Killian Murray. The Schlitter was well gone. I think he's had the advantage anyway, so the ref will come back for a free to Cuala. But again, Con O'Callaghan is down, is injured, and Killian Murray walks away sheepishly as the referee Sean Stack walks in towards his umpires.
Really well done by Con. Like we spoke about earlier, he only needs that half a second and he's in on goal. Looks to be in a bada there. We'll look at the replay, see if there was anything after.
Does so well to gather that.
Yeah, looks like Con wouldn't be the type to go down now if there was no reason, but hard to see from the replay.
Well, I'd say, well, looks like the referee will be called. Sorry, the goalkeeper. Well, it won't be the goalkeeper that's being called over. I think it might be John Bellew who's being called over for the initial free and the initial foul on Con O'Callaghan, and indeed it is. It's a yellow card for John Bellew, and maybe on that second viewing there, maybe the referee is happy to give Killian Murray in the Lucan goal the benefit of the doubt. And to be fair, I don't think he knew too much about where his hurl was going, but where it went, Con certainly felt it.
Been a really good battle there. John Bellew was switched over onto Con since Alan Murphy went off, and John Bellew was coming out with 2 or 3 balls, but Con, like we spoke about, only needs that half a second, and he's so dangerous when he gets that ball into his hand. Well,
it was reminiscent of that early goal he got in last year's county final against Bridget's, where he caught it and he just tore in towards Alan Nolan's goal, and finished it, but picked up obviously that injury in the process, but sent them Cuala on their way to a county final win against Bridget's last year. They trail Lucan here in the semi-final by 2 points. 8 minutes gone in the second half in Parnell Park. David Tracy with 2 of the points for Cuala in the second half to add to the 3 he got in the first half. For Lucan, on the other hand, well, Ben Coffey, he's scored 5 from 6 efforts from place balls. And that'll be a free out to Cuala.
There's a really good battle in there between Keane and Paul Crummy. Both of them are probably 50-50 at the moment. Paul has done some nice stuff and Keane has come out on top as well.
Sean Brennan with the free finds Con O'Callaghan. Con gathers, settles himself, looks towards the post, and that is beautifully done from the Cuala centre half forward. But what a free, what accuracy from Sean Brennan to pick him out.
Good to see that Con is now existing injuries from that last play, and really good point just to get out in front. So strong at winning the ball there, and then the composure to put it over.
Well, at one stage there was 4 points between the teams, but Cuala have that gap back down to 1. And again, another free presented here to Lucan. And you're looking over towards Con there, and he's limping a little bit, Owen, and he's heading over towards the sideline maybe to get some bit of treatment, but hopefully he'll be okay to continue.
Yeah, especially in the second half, he's kind of performed very well, and he's been that target man in there for him. Mark Shute is running in towards him now, but they're kind of leaving that space more, the classic style that we all know Cuala play of direct ball into the corner and try getting their 2 danger men on it.
Ben Coffey for Lucan. Lifts, strikes, and well, you can hear it from the crowd. That's 10 points now in total for Lucan. 6 points for Coffey, and he's been brilliant from the place balls. Sean Brennan does so well again to find Sean Moran. In turn finds Colm Cronin. Tracy puts that one in towards O'Callaghan. Here comes O'Callaghan again. O'Callaghan makes his way in towards goals, and again under pressure from Paul Rigney. But again, what's that? 3 balls that have gone into space now towards O'Callaghan. He's gotten all 3 of them, and it looks like they'll have gotten their second score off them.
And the difference is Cuala are letting the ball in with time. Sean Tracy hardly had to look up there. Knew Con was going to be making the run into space and deliver it in, and gives Con that extra time that the fullback can't be trying to cheat and guess where the ball is going to go. He just has to react to Con, and he's so much pace to get out in front. Really, really good start from Cuala in the second half, and looks a lot more like the Cuala we're used to seeing.
Well, David Tracy with another score there for Cuala. No messing about, straight over the bar. That gap is back down to a point. Fitzgerald did so well to catch that. Fitzgerald, one look up towards the post. That's going to land between the posts. What a score. Killian Murray to Kevin Fitzgerald, a 2nd point for the midfielder. Another sub coming on there for Cuala. And I think that's Simon Timlin coming into the corner instead of Michael Conroy.
Just a bit of youth for experience there. Simon Timlin has been around a long time now. Mike Conroy had a good game, but just Cuala looking to shore things up a bit back there.
Sean Brennan, massive puck out from him again. Tidied up there by Ronan Smith, but they've lost it in the pass away from Smith. Lovely little dink there for Diarmuid O'Flynn to run onto. Shields the ball really well. Uses his frame to get himself a bit of extra space, and that is really good from Diarmuid O'Flynn, and that gap is narrowed again to a single point. 42 minutes gone here in Parnell Park. 10 points to Cuala, 11 to Lucan, who are still in front.
Yeah, not the first time we've mentioned Diarmuid O'Flynn. Really good performance so far. So direct when he gets the ball, and a great score just to step inside Peter Kelly and put it over.
Liam Murphy there for Cuala. I think he was trying to put that one in towards Con O'Callaghan, instead cut out by Paul Rigney. Lucan on the attack here. Great run from Kieran Dowling. He's still ploughing ahead. Gives that pass outside him, and again, just CJ Smith just needed control that first time, and there was definitely a chance of a score, but instead it's Sean Tracy who mops things up back there for Cuala, out to his brother David. David loses possession, but Cian O'Callaghan, the fullback, again able to tidy things up, and out they'll come here to Sean Brennan. Dublin goalkeeper Brennan, debut against Laois last year. Fires that one over to the opposite side. Finds Shute composes himself, finds O'Flynn. Shute and O'Flynn playing it back and forth amongst themselves, and just slightly too strong there towards Sean Moran. Johnny McCaffrey tidies things up. Coffey. Well, I don't know if he was trying to put that in towards Paul Crummy, but I think that has to go down as a wide. But again, as we come towards the end of the first quarter and the water break imminent, this has been a really tight second half again, Owen.
Yeah, and Cuala coming into it a small bit more. They're kind of throwing the ball around. You saw Sean Brennan there, 70-yard ball across to Mark Shute, and just tries to switch the play. But very entertaining second half so far. Lucan still bringing a massive intensity to it. Con is sitting right in front of the Lucan goal now, and Cuala are going to try hit him more.
Sean Brennan with the free again, putting that in and around the square, and that's a foul, and you can see what it means to Sean Moran there. He's delighted, but referee on second no doubt, and I think we may be seeing a card here, or is he happy enough to just give a tick there to McCaffrey?
Not an awful lot in it, I don't think, just a small bit of pulling and dragging, but these are the things that can kill Lucan if they don't keep their discipline. David Tracy will knock these over all day long.
Tracy's had 6 points so far to his name. Lifts this one, nice and clean strike again from Tracy, and we're all square for the first time in this game here in Parnell Park this afternoon as the referee Sean Stack blows for the water break. But again, in the context of this game, after 12 minutes, Lucan were 5-1 ahead, and Cuala have just been tipping away over the last half an hour, 40 minutes or so. And just before the water break, that score from O'Flynn and then from Tracy, and they're all level ahead of the water break on.
Yeah, and that's just the experience Cuala have, they didn't panic, stuck to their game plan and brought it level. Last 15 minutes going to be crucial now. Lucan going to try to bring that massive energy and one last push. You can see all the players in there in the huddle are amped up and ready to go, so they'll be looking to the lads like Chris Crummy and Paul Crummy again to lead them through this.
Yeah, on the one side you have Lucan, obviously, who've never won a senior hurling title. They reached the final in 2013, which they lost to Bowden. Cuala, on the other hand, looking for a 5th and 6th years. The reigning champions accounted for Bridget's in last year's final. And again, yeah, you'd wonder that experience in this last 15 minutes, will it be telling? And again, that massive intensity and the effort and the energy that's been expended by the Lucan team in getting to this point with 15 minutes to go. All square, 11 all. And again, it's going to be an intriguing last 15 minutes.
Yeah, what's worrying for Lucan is that some of the Cuala players are just kind of coming into the game a small bit more. Sean Tracy's throwing the ball around. David Tracy's put a few good balls in. And if the Lucan energy drop, like you said, Marcus, and the lads around midfield get that time to pick out passes to Con, he can be almost unstoppable. So Lucan need to really get back their grips in that middle third of the pitch.
Well, they beat Crokes 16 points to 112 in the quarter final, and instantly after that match their manager said they're going to need to score more than 16 points to account for Cuala. Well, they've 11 so far. Can they get something like 5 or 6 points more in this final quarter here in Parnell Park, the first of our Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-finals? Again, Nafean against Ballybowden St Enda's. We'll have that game for you live on Dubs TV at 4:30. Myself and Owen again in your company as we watch there Peter Kelly swing that one in, but nice and calm with very little pressure on Sean Brennan there, and he did well to find Colm Shannon. But again, that one just a bit loose from Cuala, not the start they would have wanted, and CJ Smith, who started the game, has got his first point in this match.
Nice little gift for CJ there, won't miss that, player of his calibre. Colm Shannon just in off the bench recently enough there, so just finding his feet in the game, but he's a good player for Cuala and will put himself about.
Here comes Tracy from that puck out from Brennan. Finds O'Callaghan. Oh, it does really well here to find more and hits it. Oh! And there's the bounce that just took it away, I think, from Killian Murray at the last second. But that was brilliant. It's not the first time we've seen it. Brennan from the puck out, finding his man, and then just lovely, intricate play by the Cuala players.
Quality score from Cuala there. Just Con first touch straight to Sean Moore, lovely dummy and back at the net. But it was the pace of David Tracy running off the shoulder there. Just everything went right for Cuala in that play.
Well, what a turnaround. We were all level into the water break. Lucan went a point ahead, but that goal has them behind. And that's their first time behind since the first minute, believe it or not. Here's Con O'Callaghan now under pressure on that far touchline, does really well. Con O'Callaghan doesn't even take it again off the stick. Great score from Con O'Callaghan. What an impact he's had in the last 60 seconds.
And this is the worry for Lucan. If Cuala can supply Con O'Callaghan with a ball like that, like I said, he's so unstoppable, and Cuala really needs to try and limit that ball going into him.
Great take from Crummy there. Passes that one back towards John Bellew. And that's a free inside there on Paul Crummy, I think. Great little battle between Cian O'Callaghan and Crummy.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe a bit of bias giving the fullback the benefit of the doubt, but it just seemed like there was a bit of a tussle there, and Cian got the strong arm across. But Sean Stark has reffed this game well and let things flow. So you get some decisions and you lose some.
Well, Ben Coffey, who's been so accurate from place balls for Lucan this afternoon, he's got 6 so far. And you'd imagine that this is going to be one of the easiest ones he's going to take all afternoon. He's got 4 or 5 on the line in front of him. Sean Brennan, foremost and in front there. But Coffey lifts it, and the right decision there, I think, just to calm things down for Lucan a bit, get them back on that scoreboard, and again narrow that gap to 2.
Yeah, and that's what Lucan need to do at the moment, is just keep taking them scores over and keep within Cuala's reach. If Cuala starts getting their way now, they can pull ahead quite quickly, so Lucan need a few scores to settle themselves down.
Scramble in around midfield here for the Schlitter, and in the end trying to put that one into space for O'Callaghan to chase, but just too much power on that one.
No, but the same intent is there, is that they're trying to feed Con with everything now, and Colin Crone, has to be said, has been very influential since he came on. He's had a really good game.
Lovely take there from Fitzgerald from the line ball from McCaffrey. Again, very tight below us here. Chris Crummy did well though to feed Peter Kelly. Kelly looks up, tries to dink that one in towards the full forward line. CJ does well. He had a point a few minutes ago. Does well there out in front of Darragh O'Connell to feed Fitzgerald, but that's a great block again. And look at that. That same intensity we saw from Lucan in the first half, we're now seeing it from Cuala in the second half. And that was superb. Brilliant play from the Cuala sub, Colm Shannon. And again, another block there. This time from their captain, inspirational Darragh O'Connell. And in the end, they get it out to Johnny Shannon. Shannon looks up. Again, they're trying to put that one into space in front of O'Callaghan. And it's a tactic that's working in this second half. O'Callaghan taking on Rigney. Cuts inside him again. Now that pass out towards Mark Schutte. Schutte is making his way in towards goal. Takes it on himself, but coming across really well there is Matt McCaffrey. But the whistle has sounded. And I think referee Sean Stack was playing advantage there, so we'll come back. And I don't know whether it was the tackle on O'Callaghan or Schutte, but regardless, this will be a free that I'm sure David Tracy will take.
No, but Matt McCaffrey did very well to get across there. Lucan will concede the point here now, but could have been a disastrous goal and at a disastrous time to concede. So Matt McCaffrey did very well to get back and cover his goal line.
Well, I don't think actually that it will be David Tracy. He's on the far sideline there. Looks like a bit of a knee injury. So Sean Moran has the Schlitter there, and looks like Sean might take this one. But there on your camera screen we can see David Tracy and receiving some medical attention there. I don't know if it's his calf maybe, but he doesn't look too comfortable.
No, Cuala will be happy to see him get to his feet. He's had an influence over this game, and he's hit a lot of good ball in, and of course the free. So Cuala will be anxious that he returns to play as quick as possible.
Well, absolutely. Got about 7-8 minutes left in normal time here in Parnell Park as we watch Sean Moran. He's got no scores from play or from frees so far this afternoon, but Sean Moran takes over the free taking duties from Tracy, and he stretches that lead for Cuala out to 3 points again. 113 to the reigning champions, 13 points to Lucan. And plenty of time left in this game for Lucan to get a couple of scores and just to settle things down again. Here comes Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has 2 points so far in this game. Really good strong run from the midfielder, and he was trying to find Crummy with the soft pass there, but Paul Crummy overran it, and in the end Cuala will come out here, and it'll be free to Cuala. And again, just those little things not going Lucan's way. In the first half they were finding those passes, but again really nice from Fitzgerald, but just wasn't quite able to find Crummy.
No, and Cuala kind of getting slightly on top now. Swarm Kevin Fitzgerald there with a good run through, but just got bodies around him. Good discipline not to foul him and to burst out and win the free. And Sean Tracy has kind of played that deeper role this second half and has got on quite a bit of possession and is giving good ball into the forward. So things just swinging slightly Cuala's way now, and Lucan need a big play to try get themselves back in the game.
Sean Brennan from the right hand side hits this over to the left though. And again, you can see what they're at. The big men inside. Schutte at 6'3", 6'4", number 13 on his back. They find Cronin. Cronin did really well almost to hurdle his man there. but in the end puts that one to the right and wide. Murray with the puck out for Lucan. Shannon doing well against Crummy there.
Good battle between them. John Shane, he's known for his man marking, and you know, in hurling, it's very difficult if someone man marks you like that football, where you just don't give them that inch. It can be very difficult to get on ball, and you know, Lucan probably very reliant on the two Crummies, and when they're marking such good man markers like that, they need other players to come into the game.
Yeah, well, interesting, in the quarter-final, Shannon was out in the wing with Darragh O'Connell in the centre, but again, talking about your matchups and getting them right, that's a matchup that has arguably worked well for Cuala in this game so far. They're 3 ahead as we're looking at that effort there, but that one's gone to the right and wide, and probably needed that one just to, again, keep the pressure on the scoreboard with 5-6 minutes left here in normal time, just to keep the pressure on Cuala. Instead, they still manage that scoreboard. They've still got that 3-point gap on Lucan.
Yeah, and scores like that, you know, instead of giving you energy, you're kind of draining a small bit, and Lucan or Cuala will jump on any chance they get now, and if they get a point here, it's a 2-point swing. And
Shooty again just looks up towards the posts, and again, similar to the Cronin one, just kind of almost relaxed style, but just not accurate enough, and went to the left.
Yeah, disappointing. He had a space and time there, and someone of his calibre be looking to put them over. This is Emma Canela now.
Canela bears in on goals, and well, that one's been blazed wide, and I don't know if he just got caught between two minds. He certainly had goal in his mind, but in the end he just kind of shot a rocket across the face of Sean Brennan's goal and went to the right and wide.
Yeah, Emmett obviously more of a footballer, be very known for his football days with Dublin, but you know, you can see his athleticism just to get away and creating 5-10 yards of space for himself with his speed. Well,
they've got two O'Canelas in there now, the two brothers, and you'd imagine that that's going to be a tactic towards the end as they attempt to narrow that gap further. But so far, and as we end towards the last 5 minutes or so, it's Cuala, the reigning champions, that hold all the aces.
Yeah, you'd have to wonder now, is it just Lucan's energy fading a small bit? It takes a massive drive and fitness to play that for 60 minutes, and Cuala have kind of stuck with them and battled it out, and their class has kind of shown a small bit now that they're playing the ball around a bit.
And nobody able to lift that one in the end, maybe Tracy. Again, both sidelines, both management asking the players just to kick it out of there. But in the end, Sean Moran places it in towards O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan, lovely little sidestep. Little pirouette from him as well. Needs to be careful now. He can't get that into his grasp again, so he strikes it off the hurl, but Murray on the line, nice and composed. But they'll come back here towards Sean Tracy, and Sean Tracy with all the time in the world. And Sean Tracy takes his score there to push Cuala further ahead, and that gap now is at 4 points with 58 minutes gone.
Yeah, Cuala just finding that space now that they weren't finding for the start of the game in the first half there. Just, you know, it looks like Lucan are tired out there, they're heavy bodies, and Cuala are just finding pockets where they can pick passes and find scores like that.
Buck out for Killian Murray. Goes long. Tries to find O'Canela. But again, nice and calm. Brilliant work there by Colm Cronin. What an impact he's had since he came in at half time. Just managed to just shore things up that little bit in the Cuala half back line. It's been so composed. And again, that composure lacking there in that pass from John Bellew, putting it across the pitch towards Emmett O'Canela, but just unable to keep it in.
Things just really aren't clicking for Lucan at this stage. Just balls going out, and that missed free from Coffey there slightly earlier. Just these are the things that for Lucan to beat a team like Cuala when they're coming as underdogs, they need to play unbelievably well, and then they also need a bit of luck, and that luck just doesn't seem to be with them in the last 5 or so minutes.
Oisin Goff, lovely sideline cut there from the experienced right corner back. That's nicely done in the end there by Owen O'Canela. But again, all those breaks in and around the Cuala full backline being won by the Cuala defenders, and just able to find those passes. Nice hand pass there from Tracy. Did well to find Jake Malone, and now puts it over to the far side towards Colm Cronin. Out there in front of Ronan Smith. Bit of space for himself. Cronin. Oh, that's a wonderful score from Colm Cronin. The tightest of angles, but it's so much work to do, Owen. First of all, to stop it from going over, but then to create the bit of space in front of Smith.
We've mentioned a few times how influential he's been since he came on in the second half, and that's just the quality he has to take a point like that over on the far sideline, and really, really good score. So, looking to put a massive effort into this, and just fatigue and tiredness may be a factor now coming into the last 5 minutes.
Free here for Lucan. See there, I think it's John Bellew just telling the lads to get in around the square. There's two big O'Canelas in there. In high. It's really well gathered in there. And this one could still break, and it won't, but we had the advantage, so back we come. And if you were Ben Coffey, I'd imagine at this stage you'd be looking for a goal.
Yeah, probably options are limited now. Really well done by Eamon O'Canela there, just athleticism to win the ball, but I think Chris Crummy probably is the striker here. He's a great striker for the ball, but there's a lot of Cuala lads in the line there.
And Sean Brennan barking the orders, the Cuala goalkeeper. And one of the Lucan Moyers is after coming on there, and he's given some final instruction to Chris Crummy there. Chris Crummy. 5 Cuala players on the line. Sean Brennan does really well and goals, and in the end manages to get that out.
Good strike by Chris, but just there's a lot of bodies on the line there. Sean Brennan is a top quality keeper, just flicked it away, and Cuala really have shown their class that they're able to grind out wins, and you know they can play the fancy hurling and they can play the dogged hurling.
And here comes Sean Moore pushing the back for him, and that'll be one of the softest frees Sean Stack is going to blow for this afternoon. And again, apologies for those who missed some moments of action earlier, but we will be playing out the minutes that we missed after the game, so if you stick with us, we'll show you those highlights. We'll show you in particular obviously the goal that Sean Moran got, Conor Callaghan point soon after, and just the I suppose the resurrection of Cuala in this final quarter. Again, after that water break, they were tied 11 points apiece going into that water break, but Cuala had the final 2 points heading into it from Jim O'Flynn and David Tracy, and they've really just kicked on now in this last quarter. Really good impact from their bench as well. Over the shoulder there from Colm Shannon, and the white flag is raised again.
Another player that some lads has come on, has put himself about, and you know, Cuala are playing smart hurling this second half. They're moving the ball very well, and they're finding free men.
Well, that's 1-5 they've scored since the water break, as opposed to the 2 points that Lucan have managed. And again, Sean McCaffrey, the Lucan manager, will be so proud of his charge's efforts here this afternoon. They've really put it up to the reigning champions. But it looks like, as the minutes are slipping away, that Cuala will be in another final, and will it be Cuala or Ballyboden? We'll see. That second semi-final will be coming up here on Dubs TV after this game at 4:30. Sean Tracy under no pressure at all, puts that one in. Beautiful control from O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan with space, with time, and a player of his quality, well, you can give him neither of those two things.
Yeah, just the ball in from Sean Tracy there, head high, 20 yards of space, it's really well done. Of course Lucan are going to be absolutely gutted now losing, but you know, they've had a phenomenal campaign, really good performances all year, and it's a massive growth for them. Not to sound antagonising at all, you know, they've had a really strong campaign, and to put it up to a Cuala side like this is a huge achievement. Probably won't see it straight away after the game. They'll